All right, this is a take two because would you believe me? I just did a half-hour podcast and the audio didn't work. Now, I started the last podcast, actually, the one that didn't record, by saying this, and that I really got to learn how to do this myself because Cole, although he's very, very helpful and he's a good man, Sabina, a real good man, he doesn't really put the good mood into getting this started because we just argue the whole time about what I should be doing and how I should set it up and how I should learn this myself. But I don't because I really enjoy pissing him off. All right, so I've already done this podcast once, which is actually good that the last one didn't record because I swear to God, it was just me vomiting words and working through some things that I've been dealing with this week. The reason why I wanted to do this podcast is because I literally just wanted to word vomit things to you and tell you about what's been going on this week and hopefully find some relation between what's been going on and y'all. But we're going to start this again. Great. Welcome back. We're doing another podcast. Sorry, this is a podcast. It's a voice note. I'll do like a quick ramp of what's been going on. Saw a psychic. It was sick. I will be forever now saying that, sorry, my psychic said this. Things that my psychic said, I need to cut down on the sugar. Apparently people with my aura have a lot of inflammation. I'm really got to give up sugar. That is very hard for me. I love Skittles. I love candy. I want it all the time. Love always, Mandy. She also said, she said some really very on point things, especially when she drew my cards, which was really exciting. When she was doing my aura, I felt like she was talking more. She was just validating that how I felt it. She was validating that she was seeing me quite a bit. It wasn't very much like future focus. It was a lot of like, hey, you are creative, which I never would have called myself that, but I think I am. You have like an entrepreneurial spirit, which I do. I feel like I've always wanted to like start a brand, work for myself, that kind of thing. She did say I have the gift. I do own a crystal now on a necklace, and I ask it yes, no questions. And I'm so woo-woo. I even charged it the other night because it was a full moon, a pink one at that. What else she said? She said I can talk to spirit. I will say I do think I can talk to my Nana in my head. It's weird, but I do think I do it. And then she said something that I really liked, and I'm going to do this long-winded story, which I did in the first episode of me not recording. I will do it again now, which is manifestation and psychic ability. She said I had both, and I feel like I'm really good at manifesting. I feel like I take it pretty seriously. I'm very regular with it. I write down in my book every day. If I'm not doing it every day, I'm speaking it like in my head. But I saw a TikTok, and that's where we're getting all of our news and education from these days. But I saw a TikTok and it said, the best way to manifest is you have to look at where your Mars sign is in your chart. And again, if you don't already know, I use cosine. I literally look at it all the time. But my Mars is in Aquarius, and Aquarius people should be manifesting that you need to say it out loud. So you need to like say these things out loud. You need to tell other people. That's how your manifestation works better. I think like some people, you have to do like things sporadically. I don't know. I don't really care about you guys. I was only looking at me, okay? As a Scorpio, I'm only looking at me things. So with that being said, the psychic said, girl, you need to work on your podcast. You need to work on YouTube. Did I tell her I was in content creation a bit? Kinda, but she didn't really know what it was. And she hit some nails on the head with that one. I've been like rolling around with ideas with the podcast, like have Cole on. Let's talk about couples therapy because I've brought it up a few times, and some of you seem to want to know more about that. And I love talking about therapy. She said that she would come on, so be on the lookout for Teresa Jabot, who will be coming on my podcast. Maybe we'll do like a live reading podcast with what I like. You'll see what I'm talking about because I think she's also a medium soon. So we're going to talk about some weird stuff today. It was an awesome experience. Like I said, I've got a crystal now. I ask yes, no questions. I'm woo-woo. I'm totally woo-woo now. After that, went to the Junos, which for all my American listeners and friends, the Junos is essentially like the American Music Awards, but for Canada. I feel like every nation has one. Ours was hosted by Mae Martin, who is Courtney's love interest at all times. And the prime minister was there, which was really cool. A brand called Marlowe sent me. They were really nice. And it was awesome. It was really, really cool to be able to go to get dressed up and do these things. I never would have thought I'd be at the Junos, but there I was. It was pretty neat. And then after the Junos, I went to bed. But then I woke up in the morning and I was filming with Kevin Pillar, who is a Jay. He was a Blue Jay player. And also a G, if you get my drift. And yeah, that was really cool too. So I will say, it's been a crazy week, with lots of highlights, but some lowlights and some struggles, which is some of the things that I wanted to talk to you about today. Before we get into it, I will say trigger warning, daddy issues on this episode. Big time daddy issues. So if you have unresolved daddy issues, or if you're like, listen, I've got enough of those in my day to day, I really don't need to hear it from you, Auntie Pretty, feel free to like subscribe and just not listen to this one. Maybe just fast forward to the end so we can make it look like you did. If you have issues with someone having trauma and making light of it, making jokes out of it, probably not the podcast for you. Probably not the account for you, really, because there's one thing I'm going to do. I'm going to make a joke just to kind of get through this thing called life. But yes, we will talk about that today. But overall, I want to say life is good. Life is great. I need to stay positive. Positive things are happening all around me. The crystal said positive things will happen. I did ask negative questions of the crystal. I learned I'm not going to do that anymore. It makes me doesn't feel good. Does not feel good. Okay. Daddy issues. So one thing you should know about me is I have them. They come from my dad. I have, I wouldn't even say I have two father figures. I have one father figure. It's my stepdad. He has been around and has been like a dad to me and Michelle, for years and years and years and years and years. Like we are talking, we've been a blended unit for quite some time. And then we have my dad, which, for lack of a better word, and because it's a joke that we have between me and my sister, I do call him the sperm donor. Steal it if you want. I've heard other very funny names from other people that have daddy issues, and it's such a shame that so many of us do have problems with our father. I'm going to caveat all of these things by saying my dad never hit us, never abused us in any sort of way. He just like wasn't there. He just kind of left. And then sometimes he would yell at us for things and still does, which is weird. But I thought, because I know a lot of people have other daddy issues, and maybe it's just like, I just want to like normalize and talk about it. It's just weird. And I am going to therapy for all of this. I have a great support system that's able to help laugh with me and let me like work through my emotions with all of these things. But I just felt compelled to say it to you guys when I've spoken about therapy sessions, and even like when Michelle and when I do a voice note from Michelle, I get a lot of messages saying, hey, I lost my sister, I don't speak to my sister as much, and you talking with your sister and about your sister, it makes me feel closer to mine, which is really, really nice, especially when I hear you've lost them. And when I talk about therapy or I talk about like my mental health, I get a lot of DMs just saying like, hey, here's where the moon is, or thank you for talking about it. I also need to go back to therapy. So I wanted to talk about my daddy issues today because things happened this week that obviously brought them all up. But also just to like resonate with some of you who might be going through it or have gone through it or will have to go through this someday. So yeah, I'll just get into it. Long story short, we don't have a great relationship with him. I have had bouts of my life where I haven't talked to him for a few years, and then something traumatic will happen and I'll need to speak to him. He used to live with my Nana and Papa. Both have since passed. And for a long time when they were living, I didn't speak to him. When they passed, I would have to obviously talk to him. So at least to say, the relationship is strained and complicated. he really wasn't around when we were younger. He moved provinces away for American friends, that's states away, from me and my sister when we were young. We only really had a relationship with him over the phone. I think we only visited him once or twice when he lived in Alberta. So just the backstory is like we didn't have a great relationship with him. Even when he moved back to Ontario, we only saw him. I mean, maybe there was a stint there where we saw him every other Sunday. And like he would drive down and I think we would have like lunch and maybe go out for bowling. And I might be overdoing it with every other Sunday. It might have just been once a month. Like what I'm trying to get at, it's not regular. We didn't have like a really regular relationships with him. I can remember when we were really young, my stepdad saying, I think me and my dad had gotten to a fight, and my stepdad had said, what I feel bad for is he'll never get to know who you guys are, and that really sucks, like that he doesn't get to know who you are. And I think that is true. He, at this point in time, he doesn't really know me. He doesn't know what I do. Has no idea about voice notes. Doesn't know Cole, doesn't even know we got married. I'll get into that one. Doesn't know Michelle's kids. And so it's, and I'm not going to talk a lot about like Michelle's relationship with my dad. Obviously that's her thing. I'll talk more about mine, but yeah, it's just like, we don't have a good relationship with him. And, from extensive therapy, I've realized I have daddy issues. I used to pride myself on not, but I think I do. And that's okay. We're working through it. So with all of that backstory, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate. Also, I want to say too, I think I might call this podcast The Phone Works Both Ways, because if you are a child of divorce, I'm fucking sure of it, that your dad has said that to you. It's when I hear it on, I think I've only heard it like maybe once or twice on a television show, where someone said it, and it like actually just makes me short circuit. I remember once a friend's dad said it, and he said it in a way he didn't say it the same way my dad said it, or like the other way like other divorced dads say it. But like as soon as he said, well, the phone works both ways, I honestly was just like, don't say it. So anyway, that's what I'm calling this podcast. Episode. We're not changing the name. We might change the name one day. Who knows? This is a voice note. So after I got back from an exciting weekend of psychics and Juno Awards and filming a brand collaboration with the great Kevin Pillar, making a fool of myself. Seriously making a fool of myself. I came home and it was kind of like a zen day. And then the next morning, I got a phone call from the hospital that my dad is in. We've known that he's been in the hospital for probably like about a week and a bit. He is constantly, I shouldn't say he's constantly in the hospital, but these past few years, his health has been deteriorating. And, I think there's like one or two times I've had to call an ambulance for him. He lives 2.5 hours away. So riddle me how you're figuring that one out. And he doesn't take care of himself, and he is an alcoholic, which is like the fact of the matter. I don't know how much he drinks now. Obviously none, because he's in the hospital, but he's drank like pretty much the majority of mine and my sister's life. He's a heavy smoker. What I'm trying to say is he's not a healthy dude. He's not going out for runs or walks at all. And who knows what he's eating. There was one time he was in the hospital. Actually, I'll tell you right now. Yeah, there was one time that he was in the hospital that his bad bacteria was like beating out the good bacteria, which is not good. And the doctor was like, you could like, I don't know, maybe have a yogurt. Anyway, so we knew he's been in the hospital, but because we don't have a great relationship with him, and the last time he spoke to me, he didn't say nice things to me. Called me pathetic 3 days before the wedding. Didn't come to the wedding. Wasn't invited to the wedding. Have I said that already? Was not invited to the wedding, but called me pathetic. He didn't even know we were getting married, actually. I was just calling him to say, hey, just want to give you a heads up. We're having a very small, intimate wedding. Did not answer my phone calls. And then I got a text from him saying he didn't want to speak to me because I was pathetic and I didn't help him when my Nana died, which is not true. And that I can't even remember what else he said because it was so ridiculous and I was so like in bride mode and other things were going on that I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna lock this away for another day. We'll worry about this another day. So yeah, we hadn't really been speaking to him, and the way that we found out that he was in the hospital was I had a doctor call me, which is usually how it goes. He's never been one to tell me he's at the hospital first. I found it out on Facebook once. Yeah, how crazy is that? I found it on Facebook once. That one was wild. Because he like literally it was like status update, like in the hospital. Gen Z. Gen Z. Anyway, and also trigger warning, like I said, I'm going to be laughing a lot during this one. We found out he was in the hospital a couple of weeks ago. Cut to Tuesday. I wake up. It's from the doctors. And the doctor essentially is telling me that here's the situation. His heart is only working about 10 to 20%. So it's not able to pump blood everywhere, or it's like, obviously, like you need your heart to like move around and do stuff. So he's very weak. He's very fragile. He has fluid in the lungs, which is never a good thing. So it kind of like feels like you're drowning. You can't take a deep breath. And because of all of this, they're trying to obviously get the water and the fluid out of the lungs, get that drained. But if you don't fix the heart problem, it just keeps happening. The medication and what they're trying to do now is obviously ensure that doesn't happen again. But because he's so frail and stuff, the medication they're giving him, I think, affects the kidneys, which we don't want to have happen. So they're kind of like in this like weird balancing act, which is what the doctor was saying. Is like, listen, we've tried a bunch of things. They're not working. The prognosis right now is called what they say would be guarded, which means it can go on either direction at this point. But they're trying like one last ditch effort to get everything balanced and good. And when I had the doctor on the phone, I thought, this might be the time to say, like, are we talking end of life here? Because for a long time, I thought my dad was going to die of numerous things. In fact, I was really upset that he was going to die alone in his home, and I was going to have to get yet another phone call, which would be a great phone call. So, yeah, when I asked the doctor that's when he brought up the guarded situation. And I asked ChatGPT and Claude, which is honestly, we can get into a whole thing about AI one day, but just the fact that I can take like medical information, be like, can you fucking make this make sense? What Claude said was there's different things that the like information the doctor will give you. Good prognosis is obviously like, we're good to go, you're fine. Guarded is we don't know which way it's going to go, and then bad is obviously things aren't good. One of the things that when he said it was guarded, he said, like, listen, I asked your dad, does he want us to continue to work on him? He has said yes. And because the other option is we can just make sure he's not in pain. And kind of what that says to me, mixed with you got 10 to 20% of your heart working, is we're looking like we're losing our dad here, which is so weird to say. And I know that I'm sure lots of you have lost your dad. I have friends who unfortunately don't have a dad. Side note, here comes a joke. We usually play the who's got a worse dad. And Michelle and I usually come out of the gate pretty strong with some of our stories, but unfortunately the people who lose their dad and are part of the Dead Dads Club, they win it. So we're almost there. But yeah, it's a lot of weird emotions going through me at the moment. For one, I used to make jokes all the time. I think I just made a joke right now of him passing away. And I used to do that because the situation of he was supposed to be the one to take care of my Nana. He really didn't do that. And I just thought, what if he were to pass away because he is an alcoholic? Have I said that yet? I don't know what I've said in the first episode and what I said in this episode, but my dad is an alcoholic and has smoked forever and drinks forever. I used to say, like, it would just be easier if he passed away, and then I could take over and help my Nana and have her live out her life in peace. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. My Nana did pass away, obviously while my dad's still alive. And so there's a bit of me that's like making jokes and being like, okay, I can make a joke, but then also being like, holy fuck, like this is about to get serious, and like not in a good way, real quick. and maybe not quick. The thing about my dad is he's been in the hospital so many fucking times where I'm like, okay, this is it. Like we're get yourself prepared, or you know, yeah, I've thought he's going to die many a times and he doesn't. So even this whole stint in the hospital, he might be able to fucking come out of it, and then we'll have to put him in a whole home. So I'm like, there's like this balancing act in my head of I want to make a joke, but then also like, holy fuck, this is really serious. And I feel like this would be so different if I had a good relationship with this man, if he knew anything about me, if you, yeah, like if he knew about Michelle's kids, if he knew about Cole, like really knew Cole, if he could like name a friend. Fun fact, the only person that ever asked my dad for my hand in marriage was Courtney. Cole asked my stepdad, which is like the right move. But Courtney was the only one that asked my dad. She said it was at my sister's wedding. And I think his response was like, sure. And it was just like, and again, like if that was my mom or if that was my stepdad, Troy, and Courtney asking, my parents would be like, yes, obviously, like it's fine. Like they know who Courtney is. Neither would be surprised. But yeah, like this man doesn't know anything about me. So I feel like a lot of the feelings I'm feeling right now is a little bit of sadness that he's going to die and not know anything about either of his children. There's sadness that I don't necessarily feel pulled to go sit by his bedside. Now, we did go see him the other day. I called my sister and I was like, I feel like we kind of need to go. Like, should this go south and we didn't go up, I think I will feel shit. So we need to go up. And I pretty much said, like, I need to go up for me and I need to go up for my Nana. Like, this is what she would probably want. So I'm just going to do it. And Michelle came in support. And I'm sure she wanted to go see him too. But again, I'm not going to talk about Michelle's relationship with her, how Michelle feels. I'm not going to speak for her. Although I will say, growing up, I was the one that was kind of like, fuck him, not talking to him, go fuck yourself. And Michelle was always like, oh, well, he's her dad. Like, it's not that bad. And now I think it's flipped a little bit. I've gone to like so much therapy about my dad. And the one thing about therapy is you go to therapy and you talk about these things, and then you realize, oh, you kind of have like sympathy and empathy for these people. Like he is a alcoholic. Studies and science would tell us alcoholism is a disease. So like I feel bad that you have a disease that like seemingly you probably can't really help on your own. Now, two things can be true. Has there been multiple offers and extensions of help from professionals, as well as I'm pretty sure I asked him to stop drinking? Yes. But with the therapy and stuff, I kind of recognize that, like, you know, he grew up in a culture, maybe like his uncle died from alcoholism. My Nana found him. My papa definitely drank too much, but stopped. My Nana definitely drank too much, but stopped. My dad's grandfather, so my great grandfather, was an alcoholic and not a nice guy. So like there's part of me that's like, oh, it's in his blood. Like it's not really his fault. But then there's also like, I can obviously know that like, he could have fixed some of it. Like he doesn't know his kids. Like that's pretty bad. He got up and left one day and like, you know, pieced out to a different province. Like me. So yeah, there's like a lot of emotions of me just feeling like, oh, I feel bad for him. Like I genuinely do feel bad for this human. I don't wish harm, but at the same time, I don't wish this to be drawn out. And there's a lot of confusion for me about, you know, I think maybe I'm a bit of an empath here. The psychic said, yes, I was. But there's part of me that thinks, and when we went to go visit him, I said this to my sister, you know, I'm not going to have kids. So one day, there will come a time where I have to make, you know, some decisions about who's going to be the power of attorney, all of that stuff. And obviously I've got lots of nieces and nephews. And the favorite wins. The favorite wins, all the jewels that comes with Auntie Pretty. But I said, like, if that was me and I was in bed and the prognosis was guarded and the doctor had said, like, listen, we can poke and prod you a little bit more and try and get you better, but like for what? Or we can just keep you comfortable. And if it was Callum and Violet, I would say, like, listen, guys, like, I lived a good one. It's been fun, but I think, like, I think I'm tired. And now's the time. So there's a part of me that, like, kind of wishes he would come to that realization. There's part of me that almost wants him to be like, shit, I fucked this one up. Like, this I hope I get to do round 2 of this. And like apologize for how he's treated me and my sister. I know I'm not going to get that. In fact, I spoke to Courtney yesterday, or maybe it was my cousin Melissa. I was speaking about my dad and going to the psychic stuff. And I said, honestly, for a long time, I've thought this is when he does pass, I'm just going to go to a medium. And I've watched enough mediums say these things where, like, once you pass, you kind of see all of the wrongs that you did in life, and you're able to kind of take, if you're any bit of a narcissist, which I would assume that my dad is, that kind of comes out of your soul, and you're able to see life for what it was, and apologize. And I think that I'm not going to get an apology from my dad in this lifetime, from him in his lifetime, I mean, but I might get one from his afterlife through a medium. And so I'm very hopeful for that. That is weirdly what I'm holding on to right now. But yeah, it's been a fucking weird emotional time. I posted the other day, I think I got like a gift from Smash and Test, which Smash and Test, thank you so much. And I said, like, I'm not looking good. I've been crying all day. That was on Tuesday when I heard the guarded kind of comment from the doctor. And again, I'm not saying like my dad's for sure going to die this week or next week. I know it's going to happen inevitably. And I'm realizing now the complications of emotions that I'm going through. And anyway, like, I say all this because if you see me crying on the internet, it could be because of that. But also I just want to, like, hear if, like, someone, if you've gone through and you've had daddy issues, and you've had to watch a parent die and have, I don't want to say little to no emotion, but it's not the right emotion you should have when you're seeing a parent like this. I would love your advice. If you have a complicated relationship with your dad and can also understand, like, the jokes about him dying, or the weird, like, not need to go see him, I want to hear from you. And also, I think this is just a good, I need to talk about it more because I just need to, like, work out what I'm going through. We were going up to see him. Cole drove, and I told Cole before we left Kingston, I said, listen, we're going up for me. We're literally not going up for him to make him feel better. I need to go feel better. And if I make him feel better in the process, that's great. That's like a pat on the back for me, and Nana would love it. But I need you, if you're going to go in, I need you to be, like, super nice, and you don't have to say a lot, but, like, don't be a dick. And because Cole has seen really just, like, the worst years, maybe not the worst years, but he's seen some pretty shitty things happen between me and my dad, and just how my dad's spoken to me and how my dad's spoken to Michelle. Michelle's called Cole a few times to be like, hey, dad just said this. And we know that usually when he says these things, he's drinking. Doesn't make it any better. Who knows if he means it. But Cole's like, yeah, sure. And then when we got in the car, my dad actually doesn't know that we're married, because when I went to tell him we were going to get married, he called me pathetic. And Michelle's like, what are you going to do? Are you going to take off the ring? And I was like, well, what I was thinking is I'll take the band off, but I'm going to keep my engagement rings. Like, he knows we're engaged. And Cole, and I understand it, like, it's not a nice thing to hear, I'm sure. But Cole's like, I don't understand why. And I think this is, like, one of the things when you deal with someone who is an alcoholic, or maybe is a narcissist, or someone that, like, pops off. And I can see I've done this in, like, previous relationships. You just learn you learn what to say and what not to say. You learn pretty quick of like how someone's going to react. You can almost like, I feel like I can pick it up. Like if I told my dad while he's in the hospital, fucking almost dead, actually we got married and you weren't invited, that would just start a ripple effect that I like don't want to deal with. I already have to deal with so much right now. I've got to figure out what's going on with the house and everything. I'm the power of attorney, so like pulling plug situations and all of that stuff. Like I've got enough on my plate. I really don't need the man to know he was not invited to a wedding. And Cole and me and Cole kind of got into it. And I just said, you know what, just don't come in and like just save yourself. Like it's not worth it. We're literally just gonna sit there. It was so awkward. It wasn't awkward. It was just like we sat in silence. Anything we talk about is very surface level. He does ask about Michelle's kids, but like he doesn't really know them. He asked if I was going to set a date, and I just said like, oh yeah, like we're thinking about just having like small like elopement style. Maybe we'll go to Vegas. He said, oh, I'm going to quit smoking, and I was like, we might be past that point, old man. So yeah, it's just been like a really emotionally up and down time in my life right now, which has been really fun. And I think it's only going to, I don't want to say it's only going to get worse. I think it's going to get harder. I think I'm going to have to talk about it more just so I can get out these feelings, because it is so complicated and it's not a normal father-daughter relationship. The more I talk about it, though, I will say the more I realize how many of us have these really fucked up dads. And again, we weren't abused by any means. We were abandoned. That's like, which in all honesty was probably the best thing he did, because he wasn't equipped to be a proper dad. And there's so many times in my childhood or growing up where I can remember him saying stuff. I'm like, that's fucking weird. You're weird. Yeah, so sorry this was such a ramble. I promise you, the crazy thing is this was a better ramble, more cohesive ramble than the first time I did it. So honestly, maybe that was my spirit guides telling me don't post this one. We'll get it better on this second one. We'll maybe we should have written stuff down. But yeah, if you have a dad that's like this, like I'm sorry for you. I get what you're going through. Like I said, speaking to other people that have a parent that either wasn't there or wasn't nice, for me, it's almost like a comfort, because I'm like, oh God, okay, you fucking get it. Like I'm gonna say these jokes and you're gonna get it. Why are me and Michelle so funny? It's the trauma, probably. Because my mom is not that funny, although some people do think she is funny. Some people do think she's funny. But yeah, I find comfort in knowing that other people have had some sort of this shared experience. In fact, Cole's dad, and again, I don't want to like speak on like too much people's shit, but like Cole's dad didn't have a good relationship with his dad. So when I first met Cole's dad and Cole kind of explained the situation with mine, he got it really quick, which was really nice. And again, I have to say that I am very fortunate, because I have my mom, who's great, and I have my stepdad, who's great. My stepdad, and again, I don't remember what I said in this one versus last one, but like my stepdad walked me down the aisle. My stepdad was the one that Cole asked for my hand in marriage. He asked my mom and my stepdad. In my mind, he's our dad. The kids know him as granddad. Like it is what it is. But all of this to say, very long rambles. If you're going through something, please go speak to someone, talk to your friends about it. Go to therapy. As much as therapy has helped me, it's been a pain in the ass, because I feel sympathy for him now too. But it has like overall helped me. It's been able to make me see the situation in a different light, and not hold so much anger towards it. There's still obviously sadness, and I think a lot of the sadness is I feel sad that like I didn't get that relationship with a dad. But I do have it with my stepdad, so I can't complain too much. But it's like when it's your blood, it's just like, much I don't want to say like when it's your blood, it's different. But like when he's still like, if it would be probably easier if we just never knew him, to be honest with you. All right. Long rambles. I'm gonna cut this. So there's a few things I want you to take away from this. One, go see the psychic. It's cool. I believe in it. Two, manifest your dreams. Three, if you have a shitty parent, go to therapy. It makes a difference. or reach out to me. And we can go toe to toe for dad stories. Again, I just want to reiterate, he called me pathetic a day before my wedding. So just want to say that's a pretty good card. You're only going to beat me if he's dead. But I'll leave. Let's like end the dad talk for a second. And like get to some serious world things. Stop dogging on Amanda from Summer House. Do I think she did something pretty shady? Yes. Do I think Sierra, like, this fucking sucks for Sierra, and Sierra is the only victim in this? Not the only victim, but she is a victim in this. Yes. Like, that is a huge betrayal from a girl and from a friend. But we're not dogging on West enough. And like most things, the woman is getting the blunt of it. Stop. Dog West more, please. Dog West more. Dog my dad more. They are not getting enough of the poo-pooing. Anyways, guys, thanks for listening. I hopefully you laughed when I laughed, and I will laugh. I'll keep you guys updated. Honestly, you're only going to hear when he dies. I'm not going to keep you updated on his health situation. If you don't hear that he's dead, he's alive. And laugh with me. We need to laugh more. There's so many terrible things that happen in this world, and terrible things that happen to very, very good people, that, like, honestly, if we can't, like, laugh about it, not laugh about everything, but like I need some sort of laughter just to, like, feel joy when things are just absolutely a shit show, and life is just like, here, and let's see if you can handle this one. So laugh, call your best friend, give them a hug, shake them boobies. I don't know. Call your sister. And if you can't call your sister, feel free to DM me and send me a voice note. All right. Sorry this was such a podcast. Longest voice note ever. Love you guys. Toodles.